Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the info sessions for Horizon Europe. We're dealing with Destination 3, Circular Economy and Bioeconomy today. I'm Kevin Flowers. I'm the Deputy Head of Unit in DG RTD in the Green Transitions Unit, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you here to this second day. Destination 3 covers the circular economy and bioeconomy sectors. I will be the moderator this morning, and we've split the session up into 2 sessions. And we will be, today, the session is dedicated to the 2025 calls, gathering topics of Destination 3 on circular economy and bioeconomy sectors. My team will be here with you until 2040, when we will have a short break, 15-20 minutes. And then the session will resume again at 11 o'clock under the moderation of my colleague, Elena Montani. She's the Deputy Head of Unit in DG Environment, Unit MV3, dealing with green knowledge and the Research Hub and Life. Next slide. So let's take a step back and have a look at what's in stock for the circular economy and bioeconomy sectors in the Cluster 6 of Horizon Europe work program for 2025. Under the first heading, we will be focusing on enabling a circular economy transition, and there we have 8 topics. Under the second pillar or heading, we will be dealing with the innovating for sustainable bio-based systems, biotechnology, and bioeconomy, and there we have 6 topics. Under the third pillar or section, we will be dealing with innovating for the blue bioeconomy and the biotechnology value chain, where we have 1 topic. And finally, in the fourth domain, we will be dealing with safeguarding and sustainably innovating the multiple functions of EU forests, where we have 1 topic. And I should add that the latter topic is the new co-funded partnership on forests and forestry for a sustainable future, which we are launching in 2025 with a budget of 70 million euros. This partnership, together with the ones included in the work program of 2025, have their own dedicated information and session later that is scheduled for this afternoon. Okay, so let's just have a little bit of a look at the public policy overview and the strategic plan. As you know, with the work program of 2025, we are starting the implementation of the second Horizon Europe strategic plan that was adopted in March 2024. The strategic plan covers the remainder of the framework program from 2025 to 27 and guides the development of the R&I action in line with the legal base. So we have in the strategic plan a specific impact on achieving healthy soils and forests, as well as clean air, fresh and marine water, whilst ensuring water resilience and the transition to a clean and competitive circular and sustainable bioeconomy. So Destination 3 is expected to deliver on this impact as defined in the strategic plan. At the same time, the destination aims to support the new Commission political priorities, as well as a wide array of EU policy objectives. And as you can see in the left-hand side of this slide, there's quite a lot moving at the moment. We, of course, have the ongoing overall framing of EU policy under the European Green Deal, but we have the upcoming Circular Economy Act, we have the Circular Economy Action Plan, we have the work ongoing under the Eco-Design for Sustainable Products regulation, we have the upcoming EU Biotech Act, and so on and so forth. I won't run through them all, but just to say that there's quite a number of pieces of policy and emerging strategies that are directly relevant or have at least some relevance for what we're doing under this Destination 3 of the Cluster 6. Okay. So just have a quick look at and provide an overview of the calls in the Destination 3 topic. They will be spread over two-stage calls. So we'll have 2 calls. One will be a single-stage call, and the other one will be a two-stage call. The single-stage call will open on the 15th of May, and the closing date is the 17th of September. And under it, we have 15 circular economy and bioeconomy topics, of which we have 2 coordination and support action topics. We have 4 research and innovation actions, RIAs. We have 8 innovation actions, and we have 1 co-funded partnership, as mentioned earlier. These topics have an overall budget of 200 million euros and are expected to result in the award of 27 grants. All right. Moving on to the two-stage call, we will have only 1 circular economy topic here. It's an innovation action topic with a budget of 10 million euros and is expected to fund 2 topics. The relevant dates that applicants should be aware of for this is the opening date will be the 15th of May. The deadline for the first stage of applications would be the 4th of September this year, and for the second stage will be the 18th of February next year, 2026. Okay. Now, in order to make our session lively and interactive today, we have a Slido app in operation so that participants from anywhere who are joining us today, you can ask your questions. And to do so, you can simply either go to the Slido website, www.sli.do, and you insert the tag of #CL6InfoDay to join the event. Then you select the room on Destination 3 Circular Economy and Bioeconomy sectors. Now, I would like you to request that if you are putting a question forward, you do the questions with the topic number. So, for example, if you are interested in aspects related to topic Horizon CL6 2025-01 Circular Bio 07, which relates to the demonstration, deployment, upscaling of circular systemic solutions in cities and regions, please put the number CircBio07 and then pose your question. So that's quite important because we need to orientate the questions towards the relevant topic leader. Also, if you could, so we would really like you to be asking questions that are about the nature of the topic and not about application processes, eligibility criteria, and so forth. So if you could focus your questions towards further understanding the topic that's the subject of the call, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And if I would also say, we obviously probably not, if there's lots of questions on a particular topic, we may not get through them all, but they will be answered in writing. So you will not be forgotten or lost. You will be responded to through the, and you can also please, if it's not picked up in the verbal ones, you can also redirect it to the research inquiry service. Okay. Right, so we will go straight into the topics. So the first topic today, I'd like to introduce my colleague here, Hans Christian Ebel, a member of the team that I'm also a part of, who will provide insights on the topic of Horizon CL6 2025-01, CircBio01, which is addressing novel circular business models to enable the just transition to a sustainable and circular economy. Over to you.
Merci, Kevin. Microphone. Thank you, Kevin. I will try to keep it short. Dear experts, it's a great honor and pleasure talking to you and guiding you through the circular economy part of our work program this year again. I will have 4 topics today because I also have to stand in for a colleague in the second part. First topic, the 4 topics are related. Please keep this in mind. And the first topic is on business models for circularity. I won't repeat the full title. I also won't repeat what is written on the slide or in the work program text. I believe you've all read it. I will instead provide you with some context. And what you saw in the past few years is that we moved away from waste recycling and end of pipe, end of product life interventions towards eco-design. in an ambition to dematerialize. And we want to take this ambition even further this year and in the coming years, and will move to new use forms. However, as you can see from the text, these use forms are strongly related to eco-design principles because it's the same logic. It's about enabling reuse, repair, upgrade, etc., all the things that are also embedded in smart design, sustainable design. And as an example, when we talk about a longer product lifetime, for us it doesn't really matter whether this is achieved through smart design or smart use forms. It's the same ambition and it's the same change in impact. The focus of the topic is very much on consumer empowerment, and you have two major impacts. It should benefit as much our industries as consumers. And we have limited, much probably to the pleasure of our colleagues in RIA, but also to applicants, the number of outcomes this year. And we will also do that in the future. We have 3 outcomes here. And basically, translated into simple language, it's giving consumers access to circular products and services that encourage sustainable consumption and that have a real impact. And please measure and assess that impact, and not only the environmental impact. We want to guide businesses that want to innovate so that they have proper examples and see how it is done, and we want to strengthen skills and jobs. That's also a recurrent motive in several of our topics. And in line with the specificities of an innovation action, we aim for a high TRL of 6 to 8. With regard to the place of innovation, we are not prescriptive. The topic text mentions that this can be business internal or business to business or business private. We do, however, think that the success of any project will depend on the choice of an operational set of actors, and we specifically mention civil society here, so that's not a complete novelty, but that's something that's very important. And as under eco-design, we do not want solutions that only work for the privileged few. So the just dimension of the circular transition is also in the focus of this topic and in the next topic that I will present. So summarizing this, of course, there are links to the new European Bauhaus and the Circular Cities and Regions initiative. And obviously there's a strong social sciences and humanities dimension, and you need to capture the behavioral aspect of this transition, of these business models if you want to succeed. Technicalities, EU contribution 10 million, 2 projects, and that is the first overview, and I think I'm within the 3 minutes. Thank you.
Very well done. Yes, full points for the timekeeping.
Microphone.
Yeah, sorry, very well done. I was just giving full points for timekeeping. I should have said before I introduced Hans Christian that we're going to take 4 of the topics and then pause for a Q&A session, and then we'll take the remaining 4 and do the same again. So we will now swiftly move on to our second topic and speaker. So the topic is improving eco-design of products and development of testing methods for products prioritized under the eco-design for sustainable products regulation. And I would like to hand the floor over to my colleague Martin Pollikar, also in the Green Transitions Unit. He will take you through this topic.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the word. Good morning, colleagues, experts on circular economy. Transformation. It is a pleasure for me to introduce this very interesting topic, which is perhaps a little bit more technical than the first one, but I will try to guide you through the context of the topic rather than the details of the call, which you can all read, or of the topic specifically. So a bit of a background here. Kevin mentioned in his overview one of the important parts, and that is of the regulatory context, and that is the eco-design regulation, which entered into force in July last year. So it's a very fresh piece of legislation. But as you very well know, it's one of the key cornerstones of the Circular Economy Action Plan initially. And it aims to significantly improve the sustainability of products which are placed on the EU market. by improving their circularity, energy performance, recyclability, and durability, among others. Also, they are, or this regulation will also contribute to the objectives of the Clean Industrial Deal and the Competitiveness Compass, to give the context in full. What is eco-design? Regulation aiming at it will cover virtually all sectors and physical products eventually, and it will create economic opportunities for innovation and creating of new jobs, specifically in remanufacturing, maintenance, recycling, and repair, notably. For this, the Commission identified several priority products for the first ESPR, so Eco-Design Regulation, working plan. And those priority products are textile apparel, furniture, tires, steel, and aluminum. And those products will be subject to preparatory studies in the next 5 years within the first work program. However, there are many more projects, obviously, that have been prioritized to be covered by the Eco-Design Regulation. And we want to focus on those because we need time for the research and for new innovation and new testing methods to actually be on time when the next work program will be in place for the next set of products. So with Horizon Europe research, we want to focus on products which are namely detergents, paints, chemicals, non-ferrous metals, home and interior textiles, footwear, and toys. We want the European consumers to benefit from sustainable and circular products, therefore products that are durable, reliable, reusable, repairable, upgradable, and recyclable. Those are the keywords that you will find throughout the whole regulation, of course. And for this, we will need solid testing methods to actually be able to determine whether the products comply with the performance requirements, such as, for example, repairability, durability, recyclability, as I mentioned. So that will be important. This is a research and innovation action, therefore, so we want the projects to develop ways how to assess the performance of the products in relation to the eco-design requirements, and even explore ways how to improve the performance to reach as high as possible and to set the best available technique and the best available solution that there is. The methods will be used not only by manufacturers and the testing and technology institutes, of course, but also by national authorities which are responsible for the verification of compliance. So on the slide before you, you will see the expected outcomes that are there. There are actually 4, but only 3 are on the slide, but all 4 are in the topic description, so you can have a look in more detail. And all of these outcomes need to be covered. And lastly, I want to mention that we would like to encourage research communities to take into account all relevant research that has already been done on eco-design, because eco-design already dates back many years ago from energy-related products, as you very well know. So we want you to take into account the revised methodology for the eco-design of energy-related products, the GRC studies that have been done, and there are very, very interesting ones, and also the existing EN standards on eco-design. So just to conclude, we have a budget of 8 million for this topic, which should allow for 2 projects under this topic. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer questions later. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, for that very concise and good overview of that topic. We will now move to our third topic and third speaker. So I'd like to introduce Leonor Batista. She is going to be talking about the product environment footprint of policy and market relevant product groups.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone who's joining us online this morning. As mentioned, I will be presenting the topic dedicated to PEF in policy and market relevant product groups. This is a research and innovation action with a budget of 8 million euros, and we expect to fund 2 projects through it. The aim of this topic is really to support the circularity of a specific set of priority groups, focusing on at least one of the following, either home or interior textiles, final products made of metals and plastics, detergents, lubricants, paints, and varnishes, polymers, selected groups of other chemicals, and ICT products. So similarly to the previous topics that my colleagues have presented, this is very much in line with very relevant circular economy initiatives such as the European Green Deal, the Circular Economy Action Plan, and the Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation. Now, looking at the expected outcomes that you see here in this slide, we would like to improve the knowledge on environmental impacts of specific products that I mentioned before, contribute to the development of sector-specific methods and data for the PEF assessments, reduce the environmental impacts of these products, and finally contribute also to engaging with the relevant stakeholders. And here we're thinking of industry, SMEs, public procurements, but also NGOs. In terms of the scope of this topic, we would like for the projects to review the existing knowledge that we have in LCA and PEF and identify any potential gaps that are currently existing, and then develop, based off of this, develop a test PEF category rules for the selected product groups. They should also assess the added value and cost benefit of these rules and perform an in-depth full life cycle assessment based on PEF to identify the environmental impacts that might be existing. In addition, the proposal should also develop approaches and methods to support the eco-design requirements and develop and apply approaches to identify sustainability requirements that are present either in legislation, labels, or also standards, and analyze the potential synergies or harmonization that is needed between those requirements and the eco-design requirements that we mentioned before. And finally, for the last part of the scope, we would also like for the proposals to develop some guidance and training and dissemination strategies to support the wider use of PEF. Please do keep in mind that the proposal should target a sufficiently broad and granular scope that involves all the relevant stakeholders that I mentioned before, and also take into consideration the most recent EU rules and data, such as the current recommendation for PEF, when developing your data sets and digital solutions. For the last things that I would like to mention is also it would be very important that you take into consideration that all data produced should be available in open sources, and here you should follow the FAIR principle. And we encourage you to address all the knowledge gaps in capacity building or skills, particularly for SMEs, and developing all the necessary training materials. And this is it for this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonor, and don't run away because you have the pleasure of taking the fourth topic of our group of four this morning. So Leonor will now take us through Circ Bio topic 4 on development testing of extended producer responsibility schemes within the priority Circular Economy Action Plan value chains. So back over to you again.
Thank you very much. And here we are talking about an innovation action with a total budget of 10 million euros, and we expect again to fund at least 2 projects through it. This topic was drafted having in mind the need to enhance the circularity and the collection efficiency of a few of different priority products. More specifically, we're talking about construction products, ICT, furniture, mattresses and carpets. So again, very much in line with the legislation that we currently have. And here we took as inspiration the Waste Framework Directive, again, the Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation, and the Circular Economy Act, the future one. Going to the expected outcomes, we would like for the projects that are to be funded through this topic to first demonstrate the innovative solutions for the uptake and implementation of EPR schemes, and all of this to be applied across the EU and associated countries. And at the same time, we would like to see an improvement on the knowledge of consumers and economic operators, but also SMEs on the EPR schemes and the eco-modulation fees. And it would also be important to foster an optimal functioning and increased uptake of the EPR schemes across Europe. In terms of the scope, we wish for the proposals to develop, test, and demonstrate some solutions for the implementation of the EPR schemes that consider eco-modulation of EPR fees for one or more of the product value chains that I mentioned before, and they should develop and test novel circular business models that are linked to the EPR schemes, supported in the eco-design requirement. At the same time, they should also assess the economic, environmental, and social cost benefits of this implementation and develop and test applications for digital technologies such as the digital product passport, but also tracking applications. And finally, for the last bit of the scope, they should also provide some policy recommendations for specific elements of an EPR scheme that would incentivize waste prevention or minimization and would also facilitate the cross-border cooperation, which is very important given the fact that these are normally value chains that are established at a more global scale. And having exactly this in mind, you should consider the global perspective within the national EPR schemes. Consider also the cross-border cooperation mechanisms and also include the case of online platforms, as in many times online sales are very common nowadays, and there are some risks associated with free-riding economic operators that you should take into account. Then if you're thinking of applying to this topic, please don't forget to involve all of the relevant stakeholders for the selected value chain or value chains. And here you can think of maybe industry members, economic operators, consumer organizations, NGOs, etc. And for my last part, I would just like to reflect a bit on the fact that this topic requires the contribution of SSH disciplines and the involvement of SSH experts, and that the JRC may also be involved with their expertise in circular economy policy or foster the coordination within ongoing related activities. This is it for my side. I invite you to present your applications to these two topics and look forward to knowing more about the successful projects.
Thank you, Leonor. So thanks to our three speakers for their very clear presentation on these topics. I am speaking deliberately slowly because there is something of a delay until the Slido system goes live. But we will now have 25 minutes or so to take questions on scope or points of clarification you have in relation to these topics. And we will do our best to distribute them to the colleagues from RTD and our colleagues from RIA as well, but mainly from our colleagues here on the topics, depending on where the question goes. So this will open soon, and we are ready to move forward with the question and answer session. So if I take the first question that has come up and is at the top of the list here. This relates to the first topic, Circ BO01, and the question is, what are the synergies with LIFE or the CCRI? Sorry, let me rephrase that. The question is, the synergies with LIFE and CCRI are suggested, or are they a prerequisite? So.
Thank you. This refers to the second last paragraph of the text, CCRI, Circular Citizen Regions Initiative. I think there should be strong synergies, and the way it is written, it is clear that it is off again. I apologize. Yeah, CCRI, Circular Citizen Regions Initiative, LIFE program, everyone knows that. It refers to the second last paragraph of the topic text, and there I think the wording is very clear. There are strong links that we see, and applicants should seek these links and synergies. It's not legally mandatory, but I think the project will certainly score lower and also produce worse results if you do not go for that option. I mean, when you compare it to the wording on SSH disciplines, there it says the topic requires. So that is very clear. So you need experts, you need to look into that. But if you don't want to look into the synergies with LIFE and CCRI, you do it at your own risk, but it's clearly not recommended. I think that is the answer that's conform also with the text.
Thanks, Hans Christian. So essentially, not a prerequisite, but strongly suggested. The Circle Bio 01, so we'll stay on topic here. The aim is to take 2-3 questions per topic, if we have 2-3 questions, but maybe some more if we have time. So we'll stay with you, Christian. And the next question is, which impacts other than environmental ones should the proposal cover?
Again, I looked it up. Topic text is very clear here. It says proposal should assess and quantify, including monetization, when possible, the environmental, social, and economic impact. So it's a full impact assessment. But of course, there's always this when possible and wherever feasible, etc. But it's certainly clear already from the title when we talk about the just transition that it cannot be only the environmental dimension. It's a more complete set. It's only that we elaborate then and explain how the environmental impact should be assessed, because there we refer to the product environmental footprint and business environmental footprint and eco-design requirements. But it is very clear that it's the whole package. And I can already take the next one if you want to read it.
Well, I'll read it out in case. So just to read the third question out to this topic 01. Are there any sectors preferred for this call, and are only new products in focus, or is a second life products also addressed? So essentially 2 questions in there.
Thank you. Again, I go back to the text. I would say the topic is sector neutral or sector agnostic or whatever you want to call it. Of course, it needs to be something important, something relevant, but that's clear for all our topics. And the second question, it's not only new products, because we also talk about reuse, refurbishment, and remanufacturing, so their second life comes in. Business models can also happen, materialize there in this area. Why not?
Okay, thank you. So I think for the moment, those are the questions we've had on topic 01. We will now move over to topic Circa Bio 03, which was addressing the product environmental footprint topic. So we'll be moving over to Leonor. So the first question is, what makes the project different from existing LCA studies in the same product categories?
Thank you for this question. And this topic goes beyond the typical LCA studies by requiring the development and testing of PEF category rules, and also creating high-quality, comparable data sets and tools to support the policy harmonization, for instance, with the links with the ESPR. And the goal is really to ensure that there is a standardized, actionable assessment aligned with the EU priorities. So this is why it's different.
Great, very clear. The second question on this topic is how do you plan to engage SMEs? But I mean, I think the question is, what is the expectation for the engagement of SMEs, NGOs, and other stakeholders?
Yes, exactly. So in principle, the projects should bring together all the relevant expert groups that we mention in the text, and the different stakeholders that are active along the value chains that you end up choosing. With a special emphasis, of course, in capacity building for SMEs, because they're the ones that normally struggle the most in implementing this, or putting this in practice. And also you should take into consideration also the need to engage with NGOs, of course. And in principle, NGOs will help you to have a clear environmental and social dimension that is ensured throughout the project, which is what we're looking for. Yeah.
Thanks. And one last question on the PEF topic. Does the proposal need to address more than one sector, or is one sector sufficient? And in a related question, can the proposal focus on a single sector but then different products?
Yes. So The text says that one sector should be sufficient, but as long as you keep it as broad and granular as possible, so you should cover representative subcategories and products that are associated to the sector that you're choosing. A single sector with different products is acceptable if it meets that level of depthness, I think.
Thank you, Leonor. All very clear answers. We will now move on to a mixture of topic. No, they've sorted themselves into one topic. That's good. So we stay with Leonor, and we're on topic 4, which was addressing the extended producer responsibility aspects. So the first question is, why did you choose these product value chains specifically? Construction products, ICT products, furniture, and mattresses and carpets.
Yes. So when we were drafting the topic, we tried to really target the value chains that are particularly relevant in this case, because they're very high circularity potential, but also because we wanted to give you a range of options that are not too prescriptive and that are quite resource-intensive sectors at the same time. So the proposal should clearly identify those choices or a choice and explain why you're choosing these value chains. That's it. And the last.
Thanks, Leonor. Last question on this topic, or on the screen at least for the moment, is what are the expectations for the project consortium partners involved?
Yes, ideally you would have a very diverse range of partners. This would include, as we mentioned in the topic text, a consortium that includes industry, SMEs, economic operators, consumer organization, research institutions, of course, and NGOs, as I mentioned before, but also maybe local authorities or waste management operators that are very relevant in this case. And just don't forget to involve the SSH experts, as I mentioned in my presentation, because this is going to really be key in your application. I think that's...
Okay, thank you. I think that wraps it up for the online questions through Slido at the moment. So we will move swiftly on and keep well ahead of schedule and earn a prize. So we're going to now move on to the second set of 4 topics. And I will again be introducing Hans Christian Erbel here, who will take us through on Circ Bio Topic 05, Consumption Patterns and Environmental Awareness as Enablers of Transition to a Circular Economy. Over to you, Hans Christian.
Thank you again. Well, the second topic, my second topic today is on behavioral change and how it can be achieved. And I see this together with the circular business model one as sort of twins. The previous one was more on the supply side. This one is more on the demand side. And the budget for this one is a little higher because we had full support from member states, but also because we wanted to emphasize that new civil society focus. So it's 12 million for 2 projects. Thematically, this is again linked to eco-design, a more sustainable resource use through consumer empowerment, and consumer behavior is also connected to eco-design in its legal meaning via green claims and verification of these claims. And access to information through digital product passports, which are also mentioned in the topic text. And we again have only 3 outcomes: demonstrate the behavioral change, support to public authorities and civil society organizations that want to act in this transition, and increased knowledge and skills. And industry and civil society will benefit. The overall purpose behind this is a significantly reduced environmental footprint of our consumption. And now an important point is that the title is somewhat misleading because it's not only about awareness. but as you see in the full text, it's more about the willingness. We put a lot of effort into awareness raising, sometimes without achieving a real shift in behavior. And what we want to have here is the project should analyze, test, and demonstrate how willingness to act can be fostered, which goes at least one step beyond. And this does not only refer to end users, but also to municipalities, retailers, service providers, and all other circularity actors that are mentioned in the text. With regard to the sustainable practices that we want to see analyzed, we are not prescriptive again. The only denominator is that it is circular and sustainable. We expect, and that brings me to the question that we had on the first topic, we expect that all impacts are properly assessed, and these are, in this case, even broader: economic, social, behavioral, psychological, technical, and legal aspects. And experimentation should include various, diverse cultural, geographical, social, demographic, and economic groups. And the topic text, the language of the topic already suggests like a few keywords: changing vantage points, narrative, storytelling, framing strategies, that it again has a very strong, maybe even stronger social sciences and humanities dimension. And it again has links to Bauhaus and CCRI. And with this, I'm halfway through my presentations. Thank you.
Actually, only a third, but you'll understand why in a minute. Because we will stay with you for topic 6. So Circa Bio 06, where Hans Christian will take you through a brief summary of the topic on indicators for transition to sustainable and circular economy.
My summaries will get shorter and shorter. Indicators. So this topic is a bit different from the previous ones. It's a research and innovation action, and the target TRL is lower, it's 4 to 6. EU budget is 8 million, split into 2 projects. I think that's the last year that we go for 8 million. So next year it will be more. And the topic was selected for lump sum funding. And the targeted impacts this time are a bit different too from the 2 previous ones. It's basically innovation in business and governance, materials and processes. 3 outcomes, you see them on the slide, they are very much knowledge focused. It's knowledge about meaningful circularity indicators for practitioners, about the further development of indicators, and about data collection, and about the use of these indicators for direct or indirect circularity action. I will explain what I mean with direct or indirect. We are not starting from zero here. At national and EU levels, we have the Circular Economy Monitoring Framework, which produces robust data about the circular resource use at a grand scale. But these indicators are not really fit for individual actors that want to transition. There are several important organizations: JRC, European Environmental Agency, CCRI again, several NGOs that are all experimenting with indicators. And understandably, the JRC expressed their interest in this topic, and they may participate in the Scientific Advisory Board. We also know that several municipalities, big ones, mandate environmental consultancies with their circularity documentation and reporting. I'm not saying that this is all random, but it's a fragmented and very diverse picture that we have. And we in RTD, we ran a stock-taking study from 2021 to 24, which confirmed basically that there's no established set of indicators that consumers, companies, municipalities, banks could use in their decision-making. And with this topic, we want to build on all these work strands and sort of unify them and see a test what could work in the above settings, meaning on the ground for companies, for example, but also in supporting environments, financing and governance. Main focus is on comparability and compatibility. of indicators and data, and simplicity and ease of use. We see circularity as a means to an end, and the real goal is, again, the reduction of environmental and economic pressure, and the indicators need to reflect it and also address associated impacts from a life cycle perspective. And again, as there are strong links to CCRI, who could be both a contributory and a beneficiary, we strongly encourage cooperation with CCRI actors and infrastructure in form of the support office. Next topic.
Thank you, Hans Christian. Very clear. So we will move on to our 7th topic, Circa Bio 07. I will be handing the floor over to Lucie Blondel. She will take us through the topic on demonstration, deployment, and upscaling of circular systemic solutions in cities and regions.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. This topic is an innovation action, and it has a budget of 18 million euros. It is intended to fund around 2 projects. When it comes to the policy context, this topic directly supports the European Green Deal's ambition to make the circular economy work for people, regions, and cities. What is important to mention here is that this topic is part of a series of topics funded under Horizon and replicated every 1 or 2 programming years. And it's about supporting the implementation of the EU Circular Cities and Regions initiative that has been mentioned quite several times already this morning. So as you can see, the CCRI is becoming quite a structuring element of quite many of our topics here. And this one is really the topic, let's say, for cities and regions. The expected outcomes are pretty clear, and they are also here in this slide. It's about enhancing circularity in cities, sectors, services, and value chains. We are looking here for very concrete and demonstrated examples of circular systemic solutions for replication and upscaling across Europe. I will insist on the systemic nature of these solutions. We are expecting concrete activities to explore innovative business and governance models, to enhance city skills and capacities, as well as to facilitate cooperation and knowledge transfer. We expect that all outcomes listed in the slides are actually well addressed. This topic is, as I already said, specifically targeting cities and regions, but also all their ecosystem partners, both public and private, within their territory. Proposals should include a solid exploitation strategy. This means they should present a clear plan for monitoring the solution implementations, for ensuring investment readiness, and for evaluating the impacts. It is important to note that with this topic, we are promoting a very place-based approach, so focusing on local needs rather than specific sectors or technologies. The multi-actor approach is crucial here, ensuring that all ecosystems partners are actively involved in the process. As I already mentioned, these topics align with the CCRI initiative. Projects funded under this call are expected to collaborate closely with those from previous calls to, first of all, maximize synergies, but also enhance overall impact. Because we have around 30 plus CCRI-related projects in the pipeline at a different implementation stage, we warmly encouraged you to have a look at what has already been funded before. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Lucie. Okay, this brings us to our last topic for this overall destination. This is going to be handled by Hans Christian, who's stepping in for a colleague who is off on sick leave today. So the topic is Circa Bio01 2-stage open topic, innovative solutions for the sustainable and circular transformation of small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs.
Thank you. last one. So yes, Julia is down with a stomach flu, and gute Besserung, Julia. I believe she's online. Most of the information is in the title, and she prepared an excellent briefing for me. I will basically read it out. As she correctly says, SMEs are the backbone of the European economy, representing 99% of all businesses in the EU. It's enormous. And of course, they can move faster, they're more flexible and adaptable than larger economic bodies. And they can foster innovation and diversify the market with niche products and services. However, in these small organizations, change is very dependent on the capacity of single persons, individual actors, and it is therefore critical that proposals include skill development activities for current and future employees. We have a limited budget of 10 million euro. We would love to have more for this, also because it was our first open topic. 10 million should allow for 2 projects, and we know that only a few SMEs can be targeted directly. Proposals should demonstrate the feasibility and transferability of solutions. They should ensure that an effective replication in other settings is not only possible but encouraged. And this means that solutions and outcomes need to be specific and they need to be user-friendly. An open topic, the idea of an open topic is that it gives applicants more freedom and that they can propose actions that are, to their best knowledge, innovative and disruptive, so they know best what's best, and they know what's needed for a sustainable circular transition. And disruptive means changing the traditional ways an industry operates in a new and effective way. And there are examples in the text, and note that these examples are not exhaustive. The list should broaden the perspective of what could be meant and done within this topic, so it's just explanatory. We should aim at a demonstration of innovative solutions. It is an innovation action with a target TRL of 6 to 8. It is important that it is well explained how these actions build on knowledge, circumstances, and structures that are already there, including the legislative framework in the EU, but also in member states, relevant to the green transformation of SMEs. So it's also industrial legislation, certainly. But also typical requirements and demands from business partners in the supply chain are important. Reporting needs of big companies, which they pass on to their suppliers, and of course the collaboration with existing public organizations. To ensure real innovation, successful proposals will have to explain how they build on publicly available achievements and findings of related previous projects. And I'm done for this year. I will still have to answer a few questions. I will do that with great pleasure.
Well done. You get the prize for handling the largest number of topics. I was just going to a small clarification because I heard you say that SMEs are 99% of business in Europe. They are by number, by value added, they're more around 50-60%, and I think about 60% of employment as well. Okay, so
Number of legal entities.
Exactly. That's So we will now slowly move to the Slido. Is it live? Yes. Okay. So the first topic is, first question is on the topic Circuit Bio 05. So we are with you, Hans Christian, I think, if I've got my notes right. Because I did write this out. Let me get to the right page. So we're on the consumption patterns, environmental awareness and behavior willingness. And the question is, are municipalities expected to play an active role as partners, e.g. as local policy pilots, or is their involvement as stakeholders, simply as stakeholders sufficient?
The topic text, the topic text is open. It's not, it's not a prerequisite that they play an active role That's how I read the topic text. But of course, it would be a positive thing. I expected to play is also not a legal wording. So the way I read the topic, it would make perfect sense. Yes, they should play an active role, but it's not mandatory. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you. Next question on the same topic, so we'll stay with Hans Christian. What kind, sorry, I jumped up a level. Should a specific field or domain or sector, I think, e.g. energy, food or fashion, be covered, or can the consortium define it based on their expertise?
Absolutely, same as the first topic. It is sector agnostic. Whatever achieves impact. There are so many options, we did not want to predefine it and limit it.
Very good. Next question, still on topic Circa Bio 05. What kind of synergies with the new European Bauhaus and the Circular Cities and Regions initiative are expected?
Well, ideally, if there's an exchange with participants in consortia that work on projects under Bauhaus or under CCRI, there will be synergies, but it's about knowledge creation. It's about how would you call it? It's about visibility. It's about using existing infrastructure. It's about reinforcing shared ambitions and goals. All this, I did not expect that this would require further explanation, but I would say it's both real interaction and a shared vision and an improved network. Network is not only structure; it's also visibility. It's all these elements, and I would believe that this comes naturally.
Okay, good. We'll stay on topic since we've gained ourselves a bit of time here. So still with this topic on consumption patterns, environmental awareness. Oh, sorry. Okay, no, we're moving on to, all right. We're moving on to topic 6. This is the indicators topic for transition to circular economy and sustainability. Again with you, Hans Christian. So the first question, should the indicators be based on consumption footprint? And if yes, how is this connected to the CCRI initiative? And how should we involve the JRC? So 3 questions, but all linked.
Mm-hmm. Well, I start with the JRC because...
It's on.
It is on.
No, he's good.
Yeah, I start with the JRC, but I would say the involvement of the JRC, that's not a question for us. That's a technicality, and there's, I don't know whether Rhea wants to speak about that, but I think it doesn't belong here, how we cooperate with JRC.
Yes, on the GRC, if this is mentioned in the topic, we don't ask the GRC to be already involved at the level of the proposal, but definitely the involvement of the GRC will be discussed during the grant preparation in case the proposal is to be funded, and then there is no money allocated from Horizon Europe to be given to the GRC, but the GRC should come with its own resources. And this is to be negotiated in this grant agreement phase.
I will take the microphone back. No, that's newsletter. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, no,
JRC part, but it's gone. Okay, sorry. Yes. Apologies, the question moved up.
I think I remember it was related to the... Oh, yeah. No, the disappearing question was related to the consumption footprint, and there we go. No, the indicators are not based on the consumption footprint, but consumption footprint is one part of the puzzle. You have to take it into consideration, but we are talking also about the impact of the circularity transition. So we are talking about environmental pressures, but we're also talking about economic pressures. So it is much more comprehensive, but certainly consumption footprint is one piece of the puzzle. And how is this connected to CCRI? Well, maybe not directly through the consumption footprint, but why not? Because cities and regions also have a consumption footprint. So I think also that makes sense. But you're not done when you just look at the consumption footprint. I think this is a message that I want to get across.
Okay, thank you. Staying on this topic, so BO06, the next question is, in local communities, households, or in value chains at different company levels, should all three categories be included in one proposal?
Simple answer is no, because you can only do so much, and you have to produce something meaningful. I mean, you can be creative, but I don't think that's feasible that you want to do everything. And it's not required and not even suggested in the topic text.
Very good, that's clear. The next question, well, slightly repeats the previous one, so we'll take the part that is additional. Should the indicators be new or complementary to those that have been developed under the JRC or by the JRC?
They may be new, they may be complementary, they may build on what JRC is doing. As I said, it's building on the stock-taking exercise, and it's in a way a next step, and it is for applicants, for the consortia experts to decide what might work. Perhaps we have the perfect solution already. We don't say which ones you should use. On the contrary, we are indicating that there are several work strands already. So yes, please look into all this. I know that the preparation of the proposals will be a hell of a work, but I think it is worth it.
Good, good. Staying still on this topic, it's implied. Oh, okay, no, we're not staying on this topic. We're now moving to Circa BO07. This is the cities and regions upscaling circular systems of deployment focus. So Lucy will take these questions. Lucy, the first question is it possible to have different value chains in one city that address only one sector, or do these have to address different sectors?
Yes, thanks a lot for this question that has already been indeed raised several times also in Slido. This topic is really about a systemic approach, and it's also about place-based. So it's not so much about the number of value chains or sectors that will be addressed. It's more about the circular challenge that you would like to address at the city and region level, and see how it could be addressed in a systematic way, so that would most likely imply addressing several value chains, involving all the different relevant circular economy actors along those value chains. But this is really up to the consortium members in the end to come up with a solid analysis of not only the local needs, but also the specific circular challenges to be addressed.
Okay, and staying on topic, but also on the theme of value chains, the next question is, do the value chains in one city have to be at the same stage of TRL or stroke implementation, or can this differ?
Yes, another good question. Activities may start at any TRL, and it can be a different TRL for the different cities. That's okay. The only thing that this topic is expected to achieve TRLs 6 to 8 at the end of the project, and that's what needs to be kept in mind.
Very clear. This is, again, another version of the question, but should we focus on cross-sectorial value chains in each region or a distinct sector for each case or value chains? But I think you've essentially answered, but we can certainly make it clear.
Yes, I can only repeat. It's really about supporting a systemic approach. This will imply several value chains, several sectors, but it needs to be place-based and it needs to address a local need that will have been hopefully already addressed at the proposal stage.
Very clear. So one last question on this topic. Do both the demonstration and replication sites stroke cases have to include city or regional governments?
Yes, maybe here I will pause just to say that the presentation was about the 2025 topic, and I think here the terminology used is rather related to the 2026 topic, for which there is a pre-draft now out there. So that's maybe the first reaction. But regarding the terminology used, this is for supporting the circular cities and regions initiative. So of course, cities and regions would and should have a key role in this. They may not necessarily be in the lead. They will most likely and should bring all the ecosystem partners along the value chains again to demonstrate circular systemic solutions. So we're expecting public administrations to be in, but this is again quite flexible, the form it will take.
Thank you. Do we have a set of questions on the last topic? The two-stage topic. So this is on the transformation of SMEs towards innovative circular economy solutions. So the first question under this could be a 01 two-stage topic. Should the barriers that SMEs encounter in adopting circular economy be analyzed during the proposal writing or actually in the project development? And we are back to you, Hans Christian. Yeah, you don't escape.
To be honest, I would prefer if you could answer to the question in writing, also because it's not my topic. I do have an opinion. I think you already have to do it in the preparation, in the proposal writing. But I would like to verify that with my colleague.
Okay, so we'll provide further feedback on that question. The next question is, should the proposal concentrate on a single sector or consider cross-sector solutions in this SME domain?
Again, I will need to check the topic text and... Please go ahead.
Well, maybe just one word on this. We have to remind that this topic is an open topic, so it's featured by design by a very low level of prescriptiveness. So I just wanted to highlight this aspect. Thank you.
Thanks, Marco. Okay. Yep, sorry, over to the colleagues from RIA.
Just to complement that, it's a competitive process when you present a proposal in a call. So obviously, the proposals are compared one with each other, and the one that features maybe a broader view or an added value, a better added value, will be the one that may get the funding, if I may.
Okay, one more question on this topic, which I think is asking if the innovative solution, for example, relates to a wastewater treatment solution, is it expected that there is a pilot of that plant, is constructed as a part of the project?
Which TRL is a pilot plant?
7, 8, say it, 7, 8.
Yeah, because we clearly go to TRL 6 to 8 there. So if it's 6, it's not expected. I would not exclude the wastewater treatment from what I remember the text. It would fit in. And for the pilot plant, it's certainly not mandatory. I mean, depends on how far they can go in their achievements.
Okay. And we have a few on the first topic of this second batch, topic Circa Bio 05. So we're back onto your first topic on consumption patterns and environmental awareness. So the first question is, what type of guidance is expected to be provided to authorities and civil society?
I believe that's something that consortia should ask, but the role of authorities and civil societies is that they support change, and I think for this it is necessary to see what their needs are. For civil society, can be information. It can be about comparison about products, but I mean there's lots of literature out there, and guidance to authorities is, well, how can authorities steer consumption? And if you answer the question, you will see what you need. Authorities cannot they cannot introduce new product requirements. Authorities can, for example, take procurement measures. They can change the infrastructure. That is why CCRI is in this topic. But in principle, I think that's something that a consortium, that an applicant should answer, and not I, to be honest. I always try to answer all questions, but in this case...
Thanks, Hans-Christian. I suppose ultimately the type of guidance to be provided is the type of guidance that authorities can act on.
Exactly.
So that would be the focus. Staying on this topic, is it acceptable to include pilot actions focused on circular services as opposed to those, i.e., even if these are not product-based sectors? So can we go into the service side of this equation?
I try to imagine, and I will say... If I understand the question correctly, I would say the answer is yes, perfectly so, yeah. Very simple.
Simple, clear answer. Another question, another very good question, I think, is how important is it to demonstrate the behavioral change quantitatively, and are surveys considered sufficient?
I think you should ask this question your SSH experts. I'm not an SSH expert. I would believe that surveys are sufficient, and when it comes to the quantitative assessment, the text always says as much as possible, wherever possible, etc. But there's a whole science behind it, and it's mentioned in the text. So again, homework. I apologize for that.
Okay.
About surveys, it's true that among the years we have also found a kind of surveys fatigue, as it's difficult to get answers from surveys. So I think that the applicants should be as innovative as possible in this part, because we need, in general, for our projects to have a great impact. Quantitative impact is very important, but the tools has maybe to be innovative enough, and that's also something that may be looked at by the experts evaluating the proposals.
Yeah, good points. One final question on staying on this topic, Circ Bio 05. Is there any interest in projects that include countries from the Global South, or is the focus exclusively on Europe?
Well, it's not spelled out in the topic text that the focus is exclusively on Europe. And when I see that we had interesting projects in the past under this in the circular economy part, such as Just to See, they also go outside Europe, so it is relevant. It is also that we cannot ignore that we have value chains that go beyond our boundaries. So I would say in that respect the topic text is neutral. And what I would even say, whatever is relevant from a value chain perspective and from environmental and social pressure also justifies the choice of intervention area.
Good, I think that's good. I think that's clear. I think we are finished with our question and answers on Slido, yes? Or there are more coming? There are more coming. Okay, good. So we'll just wait for those to feed through. So we have plenty of time as we've raced ahead of schedule here with this super efficient team we have on our side over here. Okay, we have 7 more questions we can address. So we're back on to topic 6. Again for you, Hans Christian, indicators for transitions to circular economy sustainability. Is there a preference to develop a single set of indicators or more than one set?
That I remember by heart. It says a single set or several sets. They have to be compatible, and that's all. It depends really on what you want to measure and who you want to serve. So no preference.
Good. Remaining on the same topic, why are social economy entities specifically considered in this topic? What is the rationale behind this in terms of overall policy? That's a big question.
In terms of overall policy, well, you don't really find them in the waste and circular economy policy yet, maybe, but they do have a role when it comes to reuse, repair, etc. So I think that is something that we should support and that should grow. So that is the role. It's part of the more important R's.
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you. Still on the same topic, is it implied that the indicators should have demonstrated usability at the macro level, e.g. regional authorities? And should we include, now we've had this question, haven't we? Or was that, no, that was the question we had for Lucy. Same question, different topic. There we go. Should we include partners with such expertise?
What is your answer? So that we are aligned. Yeah, because we said there are 2 levels to this. There are the actors on the ground, there are the households, the companies, people that have the purchasing power, people that who want to change things, but we also have the level, not the national or EU level, but something in between. I would call it meso level. And the regional authorities that support these measures through dedicated action. And also the banks, they would be at the same level. So as we always say in the topic text that we want to address both layers, you would also need experts, and the answer is yes. I hope that's in line with what you said. I mean, also CCRI is at that level. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good scoping for that question. Still on CircBio 06, are the indicators for circular economy synergies among businesses outside the scope? And as a follow-on question, should the indicators provide quantification feedback for environmental footprint and consumer footprint? I assume EF means environmental footprint. Yeah.
Well, I would say the whole environmental footprint methodology is a science in its own right, so I don't think there's really room for quantification feedback to the environmental footprint. But synergies among businesses outside the scope, I'm not sure I understand the question. If it's about synergies between businesses, business
Yes, I see what
interaction,
you mean.
it is certainly in the scope of this topic.
Yeah.
That is the simpler part.
Good. Next question, still on SOC BO06. To what extent is the call focused on developing new indicators versus testing or harmonizing existing ones?
I will not quantify that, but it's the way it's written, it's clearly both. It's for the consortia to find out what's fit for purpose, and you start with what you have. Would be my approach at least. But I'm not saying 50-50 or anything. No quantification here.
Okay, so clearly both are part of the scope to whatever level is relevant. Next question, still SOC BO06. Are LCA impact assessment indicators considered part of circular economy indicators?
I would see them as vaguely related, but that's tough if you start from there. Part of circular economy indicators doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use everything that is around. So I think that's at the discretion of the project experts that they see what works, but that would certainly not be my first choice.
Okay, good. I think we've got two more questions left on this topic. So the next one, no, we're jumping. So yeah, switching over to the two-stage topic. So this is the one dealing with transformation of SMEs using innovative circular economy solutions. Is the goal the transformation of the SME or the SME's contribution to the green economy, e.g. the reuse of construction waste?
Okay.
Are we making the SME circular, or is the SME helping to make other things circular? I think is essentially the question.
Okay, but isn't it? To me, this sounds strange because one comes with the other. This goes hand in hand. Of course, we want to transform the SMEs, and of course, the SMEs contribute to the green economy. So yes and yes.
Yeah, that's clear. Okay. Do we have any more questions? We're wrapping up there. Okay, very good. Well, I'd like to. Right. Sorry, you may not be seeing this online, but the screens were swapping between different elements. But we are now at the end of our question and answer session for the second set of topics. So it leaves me just to thank you, the audience out there, both for your attention to the presentations, but also a very big thank you for your questions and your interaction here. It's very useful to help clarify, or at least provide some initial clarifications on the scopes of these topics. So there will now be a approximately 20-minute break, a little bit more actually, I think. Are we going to stay on schedule? So we will start the next session at 11 o'clock, so there's a slightly longer break. You can thank, as I said, the efficient colleagues here from the DGRTD team and our colleagues from RIA for keeping sharp and focused in their interventions and their answers. The Info Day session is dedicated to the second part of Destination 3. Will start at 11, as I said. So with that, I think we'll draw it to a close unless there's anything else that needs to be added here. I don't think so. So thank you all.
Yeah, usually
So, good morning to all. Welcome to this second session for today on circular economy and bioeconomy sectors. So my name is Elena Montani. I'm the Deputy Head of Unit of the Unit Green Knowledge and Research Hub in DG Environment, and I will be the chair for this session, and I will involve my colleagues to answer your questions on the topics. I will now give you a little bit of an overview of how the session will work. This is the same rules as you had in the first session if you participated. So for the questions, we will use Slido. So make sure you enter the event code, #CL6InfoDay, or you can also scan the QR code. You need to select the room of the session. So you click on the circular economy and bioeconomy. Please make sure you check the questions which are already submitted so that we avoid duplications. You can also vote the questions which are of most interest to you so that they come on top. And also, very importantly, make sure you label the questions with the topic identifier because we will cluster the questions according to the topics, and we will make sure to reply as much as possible to what you will ask. In case you will not be able to ask all the questions you have in mind, or if you have follow-up questions in the next days, you can also write to the Research Inquiry Service and put your question in writing. We will reply in writing. You can also contact your national contact points. So there are many ways to ask questions. And please, for this session, focus only on the topics of the session and not on horizontal general questions which have been treated differently. Now, let me start by giving the floor to my colleague, Tomasz Kalikowski, who works in the Green Transitions Unit in DG Research, and he will present to you three topics 8, 9, and 10. The first topic is on the bioprospecting and optimized production of the terrestrial natural products. So the floor is yours, Tomasz.
Yes, good morning and welcome to this presentation. It is a pleasure for me to introduce these three topics, and starting with the first one, number 8, which is about bioprospecting and optimized production. And just to start, the focus here is about the terrestrial natural products, as the title says, while we have topic number 14, which will be introduced later on marine products. So there is a clear connection, and this is also why in the scope of this topic the marine sector is out of scope. So but there is this parallel planning of both topics. Just as a background, we had last year the biotechnology and biomanufacturing initiative on EU level, and this topic is expected to contribute to it. Also, when it comes to the progress in this area, because a lot has been done already in the past. Some previous topics or projects are mentioned actually in the scope and in the text of this topic. So this is also to build on what has been done in the past, starting from well, at least 7th Framework Program or Horizon 2020. But apart from this initiative on biotechnology, biomanufacturing, we have tremendous progress in this area, also brought by modern biotechnology, artificial intelligence, which are also considered here. Then the main aspect of this topic is to develop the production of these new compounds that will be discovered from any terrestrial resource. And examples are given in the text, so then this is mentioned here. Some consideration about production capacity, which fosters the preservation and conservation of genetic diversity, so not to promote exploitation, but rather sustainable production. And examples are given also on biosynthesis, fermentation, culturing, these aspects. Then when it comes to possibilities of focusing the biodiscovery pipeline production, this also has a number of possibilities. The topic is quite broad. So, for instance, bioreactors, biorefineries, microbial production, synthetic biology, all these aspects are considered. And again, it is how to best reach to natural environment without exploiting, but rather promoting sustainable production. So, for instance, the private collections, gene banks are also mentioned here. And also connections to parallel activities, apart from the topic that was mentioned, also Circular Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking is mentioned, international cooperation is considered, and because of its ambition, it is an innovation action with 2 projects to be funded. So thank you very much. Okay, so we can go to the next topic here, which is number 9, which is also an innovation action. Here with a slightly lower budget of 10 million euro, but also 2 projects to be funded, which now goes more towards, it is still about the bio-based sector, but more going towards the potential of digitalization and especially artificial intelligence that was already considered in the previous topic, but this one is more focused on the exploiting the potential of this very promising and also very advanced opportunities with integrating artificial intelligence, digital solutions for the bio-based sector at large. So it is about promoting sustainability, resilience, strategic autonomy with these technologies. A lot of different opportunities or possibilities are mentioned in the scope of the topic. The topic is again quite broad. It needs to consider the benefits and risks of this innovative integration of artificial intelligence, and develop the tools, algorithms of AI for bio-based sector. Again, leading towards more sustainability of environmental dimension and also industrial competitiveness. Again, as in the previous case, this one is focused on bio-based sector, so health biotechnology is not in scope. This is important to mention because the bioeconomy strategy has a definition which excludes health biotechnology. A lot is being done on health, so this topic needs to have a focus on excluding health. But also in scope, we can have also generative artificial intelligence, also connections to other initiatives in parallel, and including CBE also, and social innovation is to be considered. Yeah, so I think we can close on this topic. So just in scope of time that we have very limited. Okay, and moving to the third topic, this is a different instrument. It is coordination support action. So one project will be funded with a budget of 2 million euro. It is again connecting to the ones that were mentioned previously, the context of EU Biotechnology and Biomanufacturing Initiative from last year, really looking on how different opportunities in modern biotechnology, biomanufacturing can be promoted and upscaled as a result of this mapping that will be done in scope of this project. So to look on all the possible solutions or projects. Many projects are mentioned in the scope, but also the action is broader, so it can also look on, for instance, EU missions or parallel activities like CBE again, many EU-funded project studies. International cooperation is again encouraged here, and some countries are considered as in the scope of biotechnology biomanufacturing initiative. The scope is again broad, again excluding health biotechnology, but suggesting some concrete technologies like synthetic biology and and other manufacturing techniques, to present an assessment of these benefits and risks, and then finally to deliver recommendations in a form of a consolidated research agenda, considering these opportunities also for future innovation. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Tomasz. And now I would like to give the floor to Silvia Maltagliati. Silvia works in the Green Transitions unit in DG Research, and she will present to you topic number 11, demonstration of reduced energy use and optimized flexible energy supply for industrial bio-based system.
Thank you very much, Elena, and good morning, everybody. So I'm going to present this topic, which is an innovation action, where activities should achieve ending technological readiness level 7 by the end of the project. So this topic addresses basically one of the key challenges of the circular economy for industrial bio-based systems, including technologies and processes, notably the energy efficiency. And basically, projects should select a set of case studies of bio-based industrial systems and analyze the different solutions to improve their energy efficiency and resource efficiency. So including the application of biotechnology and enzymatic processes in order to reduce the resources uses, in order to recirculate any flows within the processes itself. And there is also a special focus on the water energy nexus in terms of understanding how, for example, the reduction of the water consumption can improve the energy efficiency and reduce, obviously, the energy consumption. But also overall analyze possible rebound effects of those measures intended to increase the energy efficiency. Another part of the scope includes understanding how to improve the optimization of energy consumption in terms of addressing the challenges of the flexibility of the energy supplies. And this means, for example, also including solutions tackling the implementation of renewable energies in the processes and technologies. And this optimization of the energy and the resource efficiency should be run and performed in order to be demonstrated in one or more of the selected case studies within the scope. And all these also using digital tools, including artificial intelligence, in order to optimize the solution. And finally, I would like to remind that in case of large industrial installations, an approach similar to what has been say, performed in the Innovation Center for Industrial Transformation and Emissions in sites, which has been recently established, should be encouraged. With that, I conclude and I give you back the floor, Elena. Thank you.
Many thanks, Silvia. Now we move to the questions and answers. So let us give us a few seconds to upload the questions from Slido. We will take them in order of topics as they were presented. Apologies, we need a few seconds more. Here they are. So we start with topic 10. So here are some questions for Tomasz. The first question we have is if the EU Biotech Act to be published in 26 and how the projects funded under this topic will be able to contribute to it? I suppose the question is, considering the act is not there yet. Tomasz.
Yes, yes, indeed, it's a very good question. I mean, of course, to be honest, the planning of this topic was done already one year ago when the act was only mentioned as a next step after the biotechnology and biomanufacturing initiative. This was mentioned as one possibility of next action. So we did not have this timing yet at the time. So then now, of course, the act may be coming next year. But there will be also actions to follow, and it is also a possibility there will be more similar initiatives or thematic acts. Also, the Biotech Act, as we have a preparation now, also its scope is still under discussion. So it may be the case that not all the sectors will be covered at the moment. There could be also other initiatives to follow. So it is important for the topic for a project that will be selected here to be attentive to these discussions and to be able to contribute. I think this is what we can say on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomasz. And also to recall that what will be presented next year is only the Commission proposal, so the act will need to go through co-decision for probably another couple of years. The next question is still related to topic 10, and is how are the named projects in the topic expected to contribute to the topic?
Yes, well, yes, the reason that we have several previous topics mentioned in the text of current topics is to ensure possibility of synergies. So basically, to build on what has been done in the past, not to start from scratch, because a lot has been done already. And also for the case of projects that are still running, because not all these projects may be still running. So, but if they are, to see how synergies can be achieved, and this can be organized in many ways. So there is no one standard approach to this, but we know from the past that many opportunities exist with organizing joint events, workshops, connections, to basically build on the existing body of knowledge, and I think this is true for all the encouragements to synergies that we have in the work program. So it is nothing specific, but it is the list of different previous projects is there to help the applicants to build on what has been done in the past. I think this is the answer.
Many thanks, Tomasz. Another question for you, still for topic 10. What is the level of engagement of the expected international cooperation?
Yes, thank you very much. So here what we have about international cooperation in this topic is again the reference to the biotechnology biomanufacturing initiative, and we have indeed United States, Japan, South Korea and India. So these are the countries that were identified in 2024 in the communication. And importantly, it then continues for win-win outcomes in mutual benefits. So of course, it is the engagement on learning the best practice on the international level, and it is not limited to these countries. So it is such as. And of course, clearly, there has to be also an interest from the partner country to engage in this cooperation. So I think this is it is encouragement. So it is not an obligatory element, but I think personally, I think a lot can be learned, because obviously biotechnology and biomanufacturing are very important topics or areas for development globally. So and we should look for opportunities there for these exactly win-win opportunities and mutual benefits.
Thank you. Now we go to a question on topic 8. How important is the AI component in this topic, and are proposals expected to include it, or it serves as added value? Still for Tomasz. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So let me just recall that we have. I can hope you can hear that this element of on artificial intelligence is part of expected outcomes. So it is a mandatory element of a topic, and it refers to the point of demonstrating advances in the applications, computational methods such as NI. So it is a key element. I would say it is not an add-on, but there is an expectation that this element will be addressed in the proposals. Yeah.
Thank you. On topic 10, are food supplements considered as part of agri-food biotechnology or health biotechnology?
Yes, again, a very good question. So thank you for this. What we have in the topic itself, we have agri-food biotechnology is in scope, but health is not in scope. So indeed, this will be a matter of a proposal to put an emphasis on one part or the next, or if this is about really health biotechnology in terms of clinical trials or health or these kind of approaches, it is clearly not in scope. If it is about nutritional benefits, for instance, it may be considered as part of food. I think this is it is traditionally this kind of division that would be applied.
Thank you. On topic 8, we intend to use techniques like heterologous expression, gene regulation, and microbial justice engineering. Are these GMO applications in the scope?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's a kind of, I would say, a very technical question, but from what I can see, I think they are in scope. In fact, yes, that's I think a quick answer.
One question on topic 9. The topic mentions the development of guidelines for policymakers. Are those expected to be AI-regulated guidance, AI-related guidelines, or more broadly to be relevant for the bioeconomy sector?
Yes, of course. Still the topic is about the bio-based value chains. So how artificial intelligence can be applied in this sector. So this is, I would say, even a bit narrower than the whole bioeconomy, because whole bioeconomy can really reach to food, for instance. And this tries to be it is a broad topic, but because yes, the budget is also not, honestly, very high. So for such an wide-reaching and such a broad topic as artificial intelligence, it has to be also somehow limited. So it needs to be about the opportunities that exist for using artificial intelligence for this particular sector. So not across the board, I would say.
Many thanks. The last question for you is on topic 10. The topic mentions that TRL 6 to 7 should be reached at the end of the project lifetime. Pharmaceutical entities require clinical trials for these TRLs. How is this envisioned?
Yes, again, thank you very much for this question. Again, here, my quick answer would be that health biotechnology is not in scope of this topic. So maybe this helps with an issue which is certainly correct. It's true that for clinical trials it would need to be a much longer time scale. But what the topic 10 is about is looking. First of all, it is not a research topic. It is a coordination and support action. So we would not expect really that there would be research out of sudden there on clinical trials that needs this. So please also consider the instrument for this. Thank you.
Thank you. We actually have an additional question on topic 10. We still have a bit of time. Should the national policymakers be involved directly in the project or as stakeholders of dissemination?
Okay, thank you very much for this. Indeed, in this topic, we have a third outcome, which is improved awareness of national regional policy making based on scientific excellence in inclusive co-creation process with relevant stakeholders. So I think if a project can attract attention and involve directly national policymakers in the proposal, I think this will be an extremely valuable contribution. But of course, it can be done also in different ways. There are many ways of engaging with national policymakers. Experience shows that it is not so easy to have these actors directly involved in projects, but there could be also other opportunities, advisory boards, stakeholder groups, this kind of fora. So this is an open challenge, I would say. Thank you.
Many thanks. So let me ask if there are questions on topic 11. No, sorry, there is still one question on topic 10. Are the SMEs and startups involved future consortia the main target of the expected results or the policymakers?
For this topic, indeed, there is a clear industrial relevance. So SMEs and startups are very much in scope of this topic. This also, I would think that this does not. There is no contradiction between both. So the expectation is that both SMEs and startups and then policymakers are informed by the results of this topic. So to do information and to engage them, they have to be included in the project in some way. So then yes, I think this is the quick reply to this. In fact, we also have SMEs and startups very explicitly mentioned in the first outcome of this topic.
Many thanks. Just a few seconds. We are uploading questions for topic 11. Takes a little bit of time. There are no questions. Okay, there is one question on topic 11, so we will put it on the screen. This is 12.
That's for later. 9.
There are no questions for topic 11. So we go back to the slides, and now I will give the floor to Silvia again. She will introduce topic 12. There was one question for 9?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. Sorry. So we go back to the questions. Apologies for that. Yeah, okay, let me read the last question for topic 9 is the aim to develop AI tools to apply in a variety of sectors, or should the AI tools be demonstrated in one bio-based sector and then replicated?
Thank you for the question. This is in fact the choice of, I would say it is a choice of a consortium to see how broad the application of AI would be in bio-based value chains or sector, whether this is only for one or it is broader. I think it also depends on the impact, so it could be that the target is on one, but demonstrating and convincing evaluators that the impact will be high compared to, for instance, targeting many more than one sector. I think both are possible options.
So we move back to the slides. So now we will introduce to you the next topics. So it's topics 12, 13, and 14 as a reference. The first one is introduced again by Silvia. It's about harmonizing and optimizing composting plants performances in Europe. And as a reference, please use 12.
So good morning again. I'm going to present this small coordination and support action that responds to the obligation for member states in Europe to collect biowaste separately, set by the Waste Framework Directive. The same directive, in fact, allows for any other waste that comply with the requirements for packaging recoverable by composting to be collected together with biowaste. And for example, this may be the case of the bags, the lightweight bags, which are compostable and are used for the collection of biowaste. But the fact is that the composting plants in Europe sometimes are not, in fact, able to biodegrade this compostable packaging because basically their performances are not in line with the standard, for example, that says, that describes the testing methods for understanding and assessing the biodegradability of packaging. So basically, this coordination and support action should deliver on the collection of the best practices of composting plants at EU level and global level. That means plants that are able to biodegrade compostable packaging, but also that deliver quality compost. So, for example, also including the tackling of the pollutants that sometimes in fact, are found in compost, like, for example, microplastics. And the second task, of course, is to share this collection of best available techniques to the relevant stakeholders, including operators of the waste management plants and also local administrators. So in also to be able to provide recommendation for the implementation of these best performances. I conclude here, also recalling that, of course, international cooperation is encouraged when there is the collection of best practices at global level, whereas the multi-actor approach, of course, means that waste managers in municipalities, for example, should be or could be included in the consortium. Thank you very much for your attention.
Many thanks, Silvia. And now I would like to give back the floor to Thomas. He will present to you topic 13, which is focusing on the reconstructing areas affected by conflicts and the role of the bio-based solutions.
Yes, good morning again. And again, it is a pleasure for me to present this topic number 13, which is now the research innovation action with a budget of 8 million euro for 2 projects to be funded. Here the background is a bit different compared to the previous ones that I presented, because here we still see a possibility of having some advanced solutions like biotechnology, but this is it is an example that is given in scope of this topic. However, the main reason for this topic is the necessity to address the urgent situations that happen on international level and also close to the European Union boundaries. Also looking on EU international commitments and possibility of future EU enlargement. And humanitarian applications. So you may remember that, or you may recall that in the previous work program, we had a topic dedicated to bio-based humanitarian applications. This topic is mentioned also in this topic here. The reasoning is to expand this understanding of bio-based innovation and also nature-based solutions for the possible reconstruction of areas that are affected by the conflicts. Some examples are given in the text. Clearly, there is attention to the situations in Ukraine, for instance, and then based on the co-creation that is needed to engage on the community level, looking on the possibilities of, as we say, building back better and greener. So this concept is very much driving the topic. Also engaging policymakers, society, and we have these principles that are underlined here: scientific excellence, sustainability, circularity, and inclusiveness. So again, biotechnology is one of possibilities, but also, for instance, bio-based construction materials is another option. Circularity is again very much in scope. And biodiversity restoration for this aspiration of building back better and greener is there. But also development of humanitarian applications, that of course need to be more sustainable. This needs to be confirmed as much as possible by the life science assessment approach. The topic is dedicated to social innovation as well, so the engagement, a multi-actor approach is encouraged. Clearly, international cooperation is also very much encouraged, connection to, for instance, relief organizations. And because the budget finally is also quite limited for such a challenging area, then also the projects should look on the potential for replication and engagement also with parallel activities. There are many of them listed in the project, in the topic. For instance, New European Bauhaus, EU missions, and GRC-led activities as well. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Tomasz. And now for the last topic of this session, I would like to give the floor to Natasha Manziari. She comes from the unit in DG Research, which works on mission and partnerships, oceans and water, and she will present topic 14, which is focusing on bioprospecting and optimized production of marine and aquatic natural products in the omics and artificial intelligence era.
Thank you, Elena, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Now, the political context of this topic is the Green Deal, which emphasizes that the blue economy has a very important role in helping alleviating pressures on land. Now, within the blue economy, blue biotechnology is a very important sector which has received increased political attention. For example, in 2021, a new approach for sustainable blue economy highlights that blue biotechnology has a lot of potential for innovative solutions. So in this context of supporting blue biotechnology, the expected outcomes of this topic are quite ambitious. The main objective is to broaden the range of natural marine products with high-value applications through the integration of biotechnological and digital tools, including artificial intelligence and machine learning. The main idea behind this topic is to close the gap between our ability to generate big data from the ocean with our capacity to analyze it. So the integration of digital tools is key to transform this data into useful products and processes. As you can see, the scope of the topic includes both the identification and the production of natural compounds with potential high-value application. AI can be useful for both steps, so from identifying biosynthetic gene clusters linked to the production of target compounds to helping engineer and optimize biological systems to scale production. The scope covers both possibilities, so by prospecting of in situ resources or by prospecting of ex situ collections, therefore including in silico bioprospecting. The action, of course, needs to guarantee biodiversity preservation and comply with relevant rules on benefit sharing, access to biological resources, and as I said, fair and equitable sharing of the use of these resources. The topic, as you can see, is an innovation action with an indicative budget of 12 million. So we are planning to fund two projects. As this is an innovation action, projects should have a strong focus on industry. The publication of this topic follows the launch of the EUREMAP project, which aligns and integrates capacities and diverse expertise of 3 European research infrastructures in the field of marine natural products. So proposals are encouraged to consider these services where relevant for achieving the outcomes. And finally, as you have seen, this topic has a twin for terrestrial natural products with the code 8, CircBio 8. So proposals selected for funding are expected to form synergies with the topics funder.
Many thanks, Natasha. And now we move to the questions and answers for these 3 topics. So give us a few seconds to upload the questions. So here we go. So on topic 12, first question is to analyze the performance of composting plants. On-field assessment is required since data are not available. Is this activity eligible for a CSA action? So this is for you, Silvia.
Yes, thanks for the question. So indeed, the idea is not to do on-field assessment because some data could be available. There is also a network in compost in Europe, so that say some data are available at the level of national or international organizations, or in fact, there are also local authorities that monitor the performances of those plants that should be able to provide those data. So indeed, the field assessment is not in scope of a coordination support action.
Many thanks, Silvia. Another question on topic 12. The text mentions several times ensuring the full biodegradation compostable packaging. Is it referring to the reference standard EN 13432?
Yes, indeed. This is the reference. It is also included in the full text of the topic in the work program. And of course, so far there is this standard, but in case it is updated before the start of the project, the new standard should be considered. But it is, yes, the reply.
Thank you. Another question for topic 12. What is the objective of having also the assessment of composting plants at global scale? Is that advisable or requested?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify. It is EU and global scale. So indeed, yes, it is requested, but not to perform a full review of all the composting plants on the planet, because indeed the final goal is to collect the best available techniques. So to look at the best solutions, even if outside Europe, could be kind of inspiring.
Very good. Another question for topic 12. Topic 12 refers to composting plants, and some of the anaerobic digestion and composting facilities are located in the EU. Are such facilities included in the scope of the call?
Thank you again for the question. I understand that the question is indeed about the coupled anaerobic digestion and composting plants. If it is the case, of course, yes, they are in the scope. But of course, again, the focus is on the composting, so the aerobic phase of the digestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Do local authorities and operators responsible for the waste management need to be involved as partners or as relevant actors to validate the results? Still for Silvia.
Yes, indeed, I think that the best would be to consider both the options, because in fact it is encouraged the involvement of the local waste managers. I would say that, in fact, usually they are the ones that can provide the data about the performances of the composting plants, and at the end could be, in fact, the ones that can validate the selection of the best technologies, or even of the parameters that should be selected and individuated in the project in order to, say, rank what the best techniques are, in fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have a bit of a general question. What would be the advisable length of the project?
I would say that this is a bit, say, tricky question, because it should depend on the decision of the consortium. But of course, again, it's a small coordination and support action. So we expect that for the collection of these practices and the collection of data without any specific research activity, the advisable length of the project should not be as long as a normal research innovation project, for example. Thank you.
Many thanks. And now a more specific question for clarification. What do you mean by individual composting plants?
Thank you for the question, because indeed this is not really a common word used in a topic text, but its meaning is maybe more clear if you consider that the idea was the distinction between individual and centralized composting plants. That mean that in some cases you have some small composting plants that are, for example, coupled with a specific other industrial or other economic activity. And in other cases you have big composting plants where the bio-waste from, say, for example, several municipalities are brought there. So basically this is about the distinction between, as said, small or big and at municipal level composting plants. Thank you. And if I may add, in case these answers are not really covering what was the idea of the questions, I think that you can come back in written and we will complement. Thank you.
Indeed, yes, if you have follow-up questions or clarifications, you can still ask your question to the Research Inquiry Service and we will reply in writing. Now we have questions on topic 13. The first question is the Gaza Strip included in the scope? And Tomasz, please.
Yes, thank you for the question. We have a reference, an example to Gaza in the scope. What we have in the scope is humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. This is the literal wording that we have. Again, as an example, we have also Ukraine. But again, this is an example that because the scope, of course, is broader than this specific case. Thank you.
Thank you. And then another question for you on topic 13. What conditions are there for studies to be carried out within conflict-stricken regions, such as for emergency nutrition?
Thank you for the question. Well, I would say that this has to be really assessed in the understanding of bio-based innovation, because the focus here is about bio-based innovation, connection to nature-based solutions. We have in the scope an attention to biodiversity restoration, also adaptation to climate change, degradation of environment, and of course then coming to the disaster risk reduction. This is also in scope, so in a sense emergency nutrition might be considered, I would think, but also having in mind that food sector as such is not specifically targeted in this context. Yeah, I would leave it really to the applicants. I think this is I would not venture further into replying. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now uploading the next questions. Just a bit of patience. On topic 14. So the call mentions aquatic and marine natural products bioprospecting. Is this an either-or situation, or is the consortium expected to work on both? Natasha.
Hello, and thank you for this question. This is a fast answer. It is an either-or situation, so one is not excluding the other, so it's up to the consortium to decide what they would like to work on.
Thank you. Now we have a question that we had before on another topic. TRL 67 should be reached. Pharmaceutical within scope would require clinical trials to reach these TRLs. How should this be dealt with?
Thank you for the question. Indeed, quite a technical question. Indeed, pharmaceuticals are within the scope of this topic. To be able to provide you with an informed answer, I would kindly request that you put this question through the Research Inquiry Service.
Many thanks. And how the project is intended to interact with previously funded projects of Horizon 2020?
Thank you. This is an interesting question. I would leave it up to the consortium once again. We have the last round of Horizon 2020 projects ending in 2025. We have 4 projects. Maybe I can mention them for reference. So we have marbles, algae, 4IBD, secreted, and incocells. It is up to the consortium to find ways to synergize with previous projects.
Many thanks. Now we have what looks like the last question. How can an innovation action strategically enhance or support biodiscovery initiatives like biodiscovery is expected to start from a very low TRL?
Thank you for this question. Indeed, as we mentioned, this topic is covering also production, so and in silico by discovery. So it is not expected only to start from the low TRL. So the project can start from whatever TRL the applicant would like to start.
Thank you. So another question has come in the meantime. The action needs to guarantee biodiversity preservation. Beyond biotechnology, do we need to include activities of biodiversity preservation?
I'm not sure how to answer your question, so I would redirect it. I would redirect you to the Research Inquiry Service. But maybe my colleague can answer.
Yes, let me maybe clarify or suggest also to have a look on the parallel topic number 8, which has the same objective to guarantee biodiversity preservation. So because these topics are really twins, I would say. And there, biotechnology is one possibility, but also, for instance, cultivation of any organisms or any sources of these interesting compounds that come from the bioprospecting and then will go towards production can be also an interesting opportunity. So fermentation, for instance, is another one. And then this minimizes what it does to minimize the harvesting from the wild. This is what should be prevented, and this of course can also benefit from existing biological diversity banks or services, which also collections basically. So this also limits the risk of harvesting from the wild. And of course, both topics have this aspect of do not significant harm included, and this is precisely added because to avoid this exploitation, let's say, which we want to avoid for both. Thank you.
Many thanks, Natasha and Tomasz. Now another question on topic 14. Services of European research infrastructures are encouraged. Should those be included as partners? Is this fulfilled by the participation of members from research infrastructures clusters?
Thank you for your question. Indeed, services using the services of the ERIs are encouraged. It's up to the consortium to select their partners. So yes, it's. I hope this covers.
Many thanks. Let me just check if there are more questions. If not, we can conclude the session. So first, I would like to thank you very much for your active participation and your questions. I would like again to recall that if you have other questions, you can still reach us in writing to the Research Inquiry Service. And I would also like to invite you, if interested, to participate to the afternoon sessions, which are starting at 2. One is on Destination 4, Clean Environment and Zero Pollution, and another one is on Destination 7, Innovative Governance, Environmental Observations and Digital Solutions for the Green Deal. So thank you very much and have a nice lunch break in the meantime.